Yeah, welcome to the dojo, baby, man. Have no fear, TyKwonDoe is here, man. Listen, we got a banger for y'all today. This video is gonna be all about effective speech, talking, communicating, taking what you have up here and making sure that in any interaction you deal with, you feel as though you said everything you wanted to say exactly how you wanted to say it. So you'll see this came from one-on-one Twitch calls. This is something I do randomly and periodically on Twitch. I do provide this on a day-to-day basis on Patreon, one-on-one scheduled calls, direct DM responses. So if you ever have any advice, just realize that the Patreon has a lot of exclusive content which YouTube has never seen. Anything and everything. I'm not even going to spoil it. Just ask the Patreon members in the comments. Is Patreon worth it? But like I said, this video is getting into some of the one-on-one calls that I do. And during these calls, these people, like two callers back to back, asked me about how I talk, how I communicate so effectively, how I communicate so clearly, and how I can do it so consistently. And I will say, I wasn't always the best talker, but I always had the right mind. And as I sort of to come out my shell as a person and sort of to, change my comfort zone and push my boundaries, all of the things that I learned and working on these kind of things and, taking on different jobs, going to big schools, testing myself as a man, I bring this back to y'all and help y'all. Hopefully at a younger age, you'll probably be better than me, more of a demon time than I was when I was your age, or you might be older than me. Everybody's on a different chapter of life and everybody has their own speed. That's one thing you got to notice. Never compare where you are today. Never compare where somebody is today to where you are today. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, man. Don't want to drop too many gems because like I said, this video ain't even about this right now. This video is about the Patreon cause. Tap in, man. Yo. What's good, G?
Yeah. What up?
What's good, G? You ready? You ready too? I fuck with that. What's good, my boy? Let me in your world. What's going on?
Alright, so boom. My question is, I want to understand how you're such a clear-cut speaker, bro. Like, it's like your mind is on the tip of your tongue, and it's like, I want to understand how I say this, be so dynamic with myself in the moment. Like, do you have any practices that really put you in that state of mind to be your best self, like your best foot forward, or is that just how you are?
No, it's interesting that you just said that because I've never heard nobody say some shit like that before in my life. Your mind is on your tongue. That's interesting. But I mean, what I would say to that is like I just told the last girl, it's trust in self. So when you don't trust yourself, right? When you're nervous about what you're saying, or when you think someone is misunderstanding you and you speak to explain. That's one thing I say. Don't speak to explain, speak to convey. And the difference between that is if I'm speaking to explain, I'm going to end up talking more, and I have to end up doing it anyway, right? Because let's say I'll be like, all right, chat, does that make sense? And then I'll go on and on and on until I think I'm making it be spoken of in its simplest term. It's something I do often that I have to do. But on regular conversation, I know what I want to say in my head. I've thought about what I want to say. I trust what I want to say, and I say exactly what I want to say. The same way I come into these calls and I tell people, ask the direct question. Let's get to the root of the problem, root of the issue. No need to ramble, no need to tell a story and get all the fluff involved. So the reason my mind is on the tip of my tongue and I'm so clear, concise, and direct, because I am direct with myself. I know what I want to say and I know exactly why.
See, I'll get that shit. I tend to go back and forth trying to really paint a picture for the other person to really get where I'm coming from instead of letting them take that interpretation and run with it.
And guess what? Let me catch this. If you're trying to paint the picture for the next person to understand you, there's a whatever the Socratic method with that kind of things. Like Plato talked about this in the Republic, I believe. I can't remember who wrote it or whatever. But when he was debating people and going back and forth between conversation with them, oftentimes he let the other person do the most talking, because how can you properly help the other person if you don't know where they're lost? You need to know what don't they get. So that's why I tell people, come in here and ask that direct question, because based on how they word the question, based on what the question is, it lets me see a lot about them. Because guess what? Our thoughts lead to our feelings lead to our actions lead to our results. So if they just made an action, which is to say what they just said, it came from a feeling and it came from a thought. So that statement, I'm gonna look at it on not the word for word context, but I'm gonna look at what feeling made that speech come from their mouth. What thought made that feeling come to be? And that's when I can get to the root of the cause just by listening to them. And that way I can say exactly what they need to hear. Not that I force them to understand in the way that I understand, but I need to know where they don't understand. Does that make sense?
I get that. That made some shit click in my head. Not gonna lie.
Simple.
Alright, I got one more question then.
Yeah, it was good. You got 5 minutes too. You got 5 minutes too. So.
Oh, say no more. Say no more. So me, I'm the type of person where I'm really serious about my interests. Like the way I move about my daily tasks, like how I'm creating my headspace. I'm meditating. I'm doing yoga. I'm doing tai chi. Staying on my Muay Thai. This, that, and the third. I want to know what method you use to really chop down your goals and really level up from there.
Staying consistent, right? Have a daily planner, a daily list of where you write things you want to do for the day. Because you can have the long-term goal itself written. Let's say mastery of self, knowledge of self, better discipline. You could have a weight. Let's keep it simple, actually. Let's say I want to be 170 pounds. That is the overhead goal. But there are going to be things I'm going to have to do every day. There are going to be things that I'm going to have to start doing. There are going to be things I have to stop doing. Now, how often and how strictly I do those things, you'll call it discipline. But the way I see it is, the more serious about what I want and the more I understand what I want, the discipline comes naturally. Because if you're serious about what you want, you know what it takes and you figure out what it takes. And you look at it as a necessary part of the process, not, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this. No, you're choosing to do that. Why? Because you want this overarching goal.
My bad, bro. The fucking comments is getting in my head right now. I keep seeing all this woo shit, yo. No. Man. I heard about the method. Well, not even heard about it. I've tried the method of writing it down and really getting it into step by step, but for me, I feel like when I'm on my shit, it's more of an emotional thing. And I remember something that you said where it's like, if your success is based on your emotions, then it's like, it could be swayed side to side. Like, you're not always on top of your shit. So it's like, I want to separate that shit. Because right now, really, to keep it a buck, I'm not on my shit. I'm not doing the shit that's good for my headspace and really healing my shit. So,
and that's the first thing you need to know in order to be.
What you mean?
I said that's the first thing you need to know in order to be on top of your shit. Cause somebody else that's doing what you're doing and don't give a fuck that they not on their shit. But you know you're not. So now you're gonna do things which is getting you closer to becoming on your shit, which is like already part of being in this call, stuff like that. So that's I'm telling you, I'm saying I'm congratulating you. That's the first part of getting back on your shit, is recognizing like, yo, I'm not. You gotta be real with yourself. You gotta be honest with yourself. Like, yo, this shit I'm doing ain't getting me nowhere, man. This shit ain't helping me in no way, shape, or form. So the next thing after that is what will and what is.
Okay. That's another thing I took from you. 70% of problem solving is realization. So exactly. I think now I just need to take my steps. Just need to get to it. And for everyone that's asking, I'm 18. I'm not 16.
All these 16-year-old niggas in here that these deep ass voices.
Alright, man.
Alright, my G.
Hey, can someone clip this? Like, is there a plug channel where I could hear this back and really?
The vibe gonna be posted. The full yeah.
Alright, say no more. Alright, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I could go on and on how much I appreciate what you're doing for this community, but I'm not gonna take more of your time. I know you on your shit, so thank you, man. I appreciate it.
We talking to more members tonight, man. Demon time, my boy.
Alright, say no more. I'm gonna get to it.
Alright, gang. Tough chat. See, this is what I fuck with, man. We having serious calls, thorough calls, man. Thorough calls. Hello. Yo, what's good, G?
What's up, Ty? How you doing?
What's good, man? Put me in your world, man. What's going on? What's the vibes like? What you said?
The question first, sir.
Yeah. Your mic sound kind of low as well. Like it sounds like a muffled under something.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
So, like, I always watch your videos on, like, I analyze, like, how you speak and how you formulate stuff, and then you bring like, give me a sec.
Does it have to do with the
like,
question?
you bring, yeah. You bring you put big topics and, like, you like bring it down to little pieces for people to understand. Like I have a lot of information and I read and stuff like that, but I want to like learn how to articulate better. So how'd I do that? It's basically the same question the other guy asked, but I just want more context on it, and I have another question after.
This is just, it's all communication is obviously something that anybody could work on, but I would say that this is something that comes natural to me because I've spent a lot of time on it. Like by the time I drop a video on something, it's not some new realization. The stuff that I make videos on, especially if it's a dating topic, I've had that thought in my mind or that conclusion or understanding since I probably was 16 years old or even younger than that. You know what I'm saying? So like this stuff has been perfected over time, tested, reorganized, rethought, put to the test, all types of stuff. Like before I even started the channel, I used to help people in real life in the same way I do in real life as well. But now I mainly do it as like a job on what I do. But it's something that naturally comes to me. If I had to talk to you how I talk to you about fasting or dating advice about sports, I couldn't. If I had to talk to you about like this about cars, I couldn't. But you could find a guy who could do the exact opposite. He can't give you no dating advice, but he could tell you, well, this diesel engine is different from the gasoline engine because, you know, there's certain pumps and cylinders and, you know, the way to, you know what I'm saying? So everybody got their different natural niche and passion, which they could break down to a square willingly because that might be a topic or idea they think about day in and day out. So it makes sense to them inside and out, backwards or upside down.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
I just struggle with communication, you know. I just need to work on that. I think I just need to practice and practice and practice. You know, that's how you get good.
You'll be a better communicator if you're also a good listener too. A lot of good communication comes from good listening.
Okay. And my other question was, how do I stay consistent? What habits are good for my future?
Well, hold on, let me fix my camera. I just hit this shit. How do you stay consistent with habits that are good for your future?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, prioritize your future over the now. Because if you don't do habits that are good for your future, you're probably doing habits that are good for your what? Present moment. Like, for example, it might feel better to just go straight to bed. I might not feel like doing a nightly routine, working out, skincare, sweeping the kitchen, doing it. That shit might feel like shit because I'm tired. I don't feel like doing it. But at that point, I put my present over my future. So you gotta learn to prioritize your future over your present in all your actions.
So discipline, like do the hard things, you know.
I mean, you can say that, but what's more important to you? Is it important enough for you to sacrifice how you feel and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. My mic is kind of ass. I'm sorry for that, but yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. If the goal is important, I'm gonna work toward it no matter what.
Right. Because
I think. Oh, you're gonna continue.
No, go ahead. Now, the last thing I was gonna say is because you eat, but ain't nobody gotta tell you to eat. You eat because it's fucking important. You eat because you're hungry. You go to the bathroom, you take a shower. I hope you know what I'm saying. It's things that people don't have to tell you to do. Same thing is you should make being your best self like that.
Okay, I understand. Thank you for the help. I like what you do, and see you.
All right, G. Tough.